Just getting everything set up on the X side, and then we will get going here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. How's everybody doing out there? You know what? Looks like this is one of those times where I should have probably went back to the hockey assignment. We are going to take the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight against the Detroit Pistons. Oklahoma City Thunder have the best record in the West. They're 45 and 14. The Detroit Pistons are 42 and 14. And the reason I say what I do in the opening statement is because who's not on the floor. Now, the first part for Mark Daigneault, I can understand because you have injuries. You got SGA, the 27-year-old who's averaging 32, 4, and 6. He's out. Jalen Williams, the guard, 18, 5, 5, and a steal. Ajay Mitchell, same thing, small forward, 23-year-old, having a good year, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal. That's three of the top four leading scorers out for OKC. So Detroit should have already been favored. Like San Antonio, OKC averages 8 scores, over 10 points per game. But that's not just what happened because the Thunder played a game and won yesterday. So, with the addition of SGA, Jalen Williams, and AJ Mitchell out with injury, you got Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Alex Caruso on load management. So, three players who are hurt realistically, three players who decide because they have the best record, they'll sit out for Mark Daigneault and company. So, here's the problem that we always talk about before we get into this is you have an East-West matchup. You're at LCA. You got one chance for the home fans to see the Thunder, and you got 6 players out, and you have 4 of the 5 starters, with the exception of Luguentz, Dort, out on the floor. That's embarrassing for Adam Silver in the NBA. Talk about load management. They talk about the things they need to change. If you don't hit the 65 game marker, you can't win MVP, this and that. Got to get guys on the floor. It's ridiculous at that point. So I can understand SGA, Jalen Williams, and AJ Mitchell because they're injured. They're going to need some time. The other three, no. You got to play, especially because you have the one game that you have in East and West. So Pistons coming off of that loss to San Antonio, yes, it was only 11, but it looked a lot worse than that because they shot about 26% from three. They shot 38% from the field goal range in totality. So they need to get things going. So your starting lineups for OKC, Mark Daigneault are Cason, Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Luguentz, Dort, the one starter, Aaron Wiggins, and Jalen Williams, the backup center. On bench, it should be Nikola, Jared McCain, Kendrick Williams, Branden Carlson, and we'll see who's left because we're going to have to add some names in. For Detroit, head coach by JB Bickerstaff, they're 42 and 14 after that loss to the Spurs the other day that we covered. It's Kate Cunningham, Duncan Robinson, Oscar Thompson, Tobias Harris, and Jalen Duren. Still be Dennis Jenkins, Karis LeVert, Javonte Green, Ron Holland, Paul Reed, Isaiah Stewart still serving that suspension from that game against the Hornets. Their depth will be Marcus Sasser, Kevin Huerter, Chaz Lanier, Tola Smith if they even play. Again, they were winners of 5 straight. They did beat New York twice with 4 on the road stand stint, but this is a game now. You lost that to San Antonio the other day on Peacock. These two are on ESPN. You have a whole bunch of guys resting on the Cavs for Friday when the Pistons play them, including James Harden and Donovan Mitchell and the like. So we'll see if they even play Friday. If they don't, in between Wednesday and Friday, OKC and Cleveland, Pistons should be favored. In fact, right now, The opening line is sitting at 10.5, and I agree. If the Pistons don't win by double digits today, you can take whatever you want about championship contention and throw that out the window. I understand OKC's got depth, but there's no reason why the Pistons shouldn't win by 15 or 20, let alone 10 tonight. I will give you as well NHL updates in the scoreboard. That first night is back as it starts on a Wednesday. I have a not so typical basketball assignment, but considering who was playing today, I didn't realize there was going to be three other load management injuries. But Sabres, Devils, Flyers, Caps, and Maple Leafs Lightning all in the first, all still scoreless. Kraken, Stars, Avalanche, Mammoth, Jets, Canucks, Golden Knights, Kings, and Oilers, Ducks will get going later tonight. And on the NBA side, this will be our opening game. Spurs, Raptors will get set to tip off around the same time alongside Warriors, Grizz. The Grizzlies have just been so putrid this year, 21-35. Raptors, Spurs could have been a good one. We covered the Spurs last time. Cavs, Bucks would have been decent, but the Cavs have a ton of guys that are out. And then Celtics, Nuggets is the late game on ESPN, 38-19 for Boston, 36-22 for the Nuggets. That ticket's as low as $8. That's crazy. $8. That's nuts. You guys let me know what you think in that question on the top box. I said 6 players out for OKC, 3 are injured, 3 with load management. That's embarrassing. If you don't say yes on that, then maybe we're just not on the same wavelength as far as NBA. I think it's much different now between Adam Silver than it was with David Stern, right? That's the easiest thing that we could say because whether or not you vetoed that trade for Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant back in the day, which I didn't like for David Stern, everything else I thought he kind of put the NBA on the forefront when Adam Silver's kind of not doing that. And I've been saying that over the years. Adam Silver makes Gary Bettman look good over that. Ian's going to join me here. And this won't be much of a game tonight, but we're still going to go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so I did send it across to Ian. We gave it the starters already, and now it's going to be up to me to try to get some of those names right. I probably won't as far as the deep bench. Once this stuff gets official on ESPN, I can pull up the box. See if that goes through. Oh. All right, so we're going to get set here for tip at LCA. Again, I wish it wasn't 303 load management. I already knew about the injuries coming into it. That still would have been a close enough game. But if the Pistons can't win this game by 15 or 20, I'd be a little bit upset, especially after that loss to the San Antonio Spurs, which they really weren't even that competitive. Yes, it was only 11, but Cade had a rough game. Jalen Duren was one of the only other ones that kind of showed up. Cade now with a float pass, and this immediately gets intercepted. That's kind of how it started. It's Isaiah Joe now. So the turquoise here for the Thunder, that kind of reminds you of the Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant days. This has been picked up now for Cason, Wallace, Isaiah Joe. Try to probe the baseline. Top of the key now for Jalen Williams and knocks down the 3. And if I got to get nightmares off of this, I'm not going to feel very good as OKC gets the first basket. Jalen Duren now, top of the key from Tobias Harris. as Harris goes on the back down, and he knocks down the two. I don't really remember Tobias Harris scoring in that game the other day against the San Antonio Spurs. They're going to need his points. And OKC's got a 3-2 lead early. Top of the key opportunity here for Aaron Wiggins. And he'll fall back and knock this one off the friendly rim as it's 5-2. OKC's hit their first couple of shots. Again, I'm watching this one nationally on the ESPN feed. The Pistons have one more of those on Friday. Jalen Duren, that's a tough basket, makes it over two players, and it's 5-4 as he knocked down the floater from 10 feet. Wiggins with a couple of dribbles on Duren. Pass across Oscar Thompson, clean steal. Thompson tried to dump at the Cade. He finds him between his legs and then lays it in. Pistons now have a 6-5 lead. Isaiah Joe's got one steal, and so does Oscar Thompson. Cason Wallace. Make this pass another one for Williams. He was open enough, and Duncan Robinson's going to sky for the board. Not a lot of vertical for Duncan. He's out there to shoot threes. As Tobias Harris goes baseline with a floater and knocks it down. So Tobias shaking off whatever rough game he had yesterday. Again, you need his points, especially in the postseason if Detroit wants to get there. They're going to get a top 6 seed, but you want to get past the Knicks from last year, but you have Thibodeau to Mike Brown, and that's not an upgrade in coaching as this floater gets blocked. Cade now slowly left to right across the timeline. The Pistons in all white. Inside pass, Jalen Duren gets blocked away. A double duty block there from our Daigneault squad. Let's start again now for Isaiah Joe off the back pass. Here's Jalen Williams. Joe with a 3-point on the right side. Rainbow, no. And this one is rebounded by Jalen Duren. Duren now across the Pistons logo at the top of the key. Tried to dribble, shoots a mid-range shot and air balls. We said he went 0 for 3 in the last game on that. Tobias Harris misses as well. Thompson with a couple of tips, and that gets skied by Williams. But Duren now 0 for 4 in the last jump shots I've seen over the last couple days. Trying to find something there as Cason Wallace will get the layup baseline. 8-7 Pistons. Kate Cunningham wraparound pass is a beautiful one. And Oscar Thompson scores right at the rim. Make it 10-7. Quick start here. OKC still 3 for 6. Pistons 5 for 9. Again, Detroit, one of the worst teams, bottom 5, has started shooting threes. Williams again for 3. He's had a lot of open looks. And this is saved before it goes out of bounds as Duren will take it across the timeline. Now to Duncan Robinson. Step and then takes a 3, and this one will be skied by Williams. Already have about 5 rebounds here as it goes to Luguentz. Williams back to Luguentz here. Isaiah Joe, a long way away from the 3 at the top of the key, works his way to the right wing. He got bumped by Cade a couple times. And away from the screen there is Cason Wallace. Williams thought about the 3 one more time. He floats it and knocks it down. What a feathery touch there from 15 from the left elbow. 10-9. Pistons only lead by 1. Again, the opening spread with the 3 load management, 3 injuries was 10.5, but I think it's got to be more for the Pistons if they want to be serious. As Cade knocks it down from 15 on a floater. It's now 12-9. JV Bickerstaff likes what he sees. Pistons up by 3. As this will be slowly for Cason Wallace. They're going to go right to left. They got the orange and black striping on the pant legs. Is putting some moves in there was Cason Wallace. Has some words probably after that, too, as he hit it from 18, 12-11. OKC not going away here early. They are going back-to-back and toe-to-toe. And we will do this again here for the Pistons to trigger at 7:15. So no breaks just yet. It's been continuous action. And someone almost had Ozzy Osbourne glasses on the right side of the wing there for the camera shots that they got on ESPN from LCA. Thompson doesn't take the 3. Now it is Harris left wing corner, and he missed it. This will be tipped up by Williams and then collected by Cason Wallace. Wallace's pass gets deflected to Wiggins. Wiggins now cross court. A lot of velocity there to Isaiah Joe. And got to go back to save it. The OKC Thunder did. As this goes to 5, this will go to Williams. He thought about the 3, works his way to the lane, and he lays it in over Cade with a circus shot. Make it 13-12. Thompson lobs to Duren, and we just keep taking the carousel now 14-13. Jalen Williams a little bit slow after that circus layup. And Daigneault is going to take a timeout, probably check on Jaylin, who's hopping a little bit. You don't want 7 injuries on the floor for OKC, but we'll take our first break. Let me look into the box here for the Thunder and Detroit. So for OKC, you got 7 points for Jalen Williams. First time out at 6:19 of the opening quarter. On 3 for 4 shooting. And for the Stones here, you got Tobias Harris with 4, Cade with 4, Jalen Duren with 4 as well. And with that game against the Spurs the other day, like I talked about, they only shot about 38%, 26% from 3. Victor Wembanyama had, 7 blocks all in the second half. He was able to stay in the paint protected area and not have to go outside at all, and it made it very difficult for the Pistons to do anything inside, which is what they only do because they can't shoot threes. So it's good to see that Cade and Tobias able to shoot a much better percentage, as their combination is, I believe, 4 for 6 with 8 points so far. And I know it's early, but I want to say this honestly. I know Ian's in here listening in, but what this will show me at least, and I'll have to make sure I type in some of the actual bench players that are going to be playing here for the Thunder. Looks like Buddy Boeheim, Brooks Barnhizer, Alex Caruso is listed, but he's not playing, so I don't know why they would have that in there. Kendrick Williams, we got that, so I got to put Boeheim and Barnhizer in. I'll get to my point in a minute, so I'll make sure we type these. What I was going to say, though, for the Thunder is regardless of what happens, if they keep it close, and we talk a lot about the Thunder and the Spurs in the Western Conference and who's going to advance, and that should be a good match for that. If this team goes back and forth on the bench with the Pistons and they have all their starters out there and they make this game close and they keep it within about 5 or something like that, or they win it, that tells you that OKC's got to repeat because the bench is going to be doing all the damage. So we come back, Cason Wallace hits a 3 after Duncan Robinson misses from the left corner, and OKC's got a 2-point lead. Here's a pass. Inside to Duren, steps through. He hooks and hits. Ties this game back at 16. Offensively, both teams giving as good as they get, but I'm impressed by what I'm seeing by now with OKC. 6 points, 3 of 5, 2 rebounds for Duren, and a foul on the floor. Hasn't been a lot of that. Thankfully, this game has been played at one heck of a pace right now, as Hartenstein is getting some camera shots alongside OKC. Again, shouldn't be surprised because OKC sits 45-14. But when you have to pretty much play a bench game and you're able to go toe-to-toe, regardless of Detroit, their inconsistencies, and that's being kind from 3, No Shai Gilgeous, no Jalen Williams, no Chet, no Isaiah Hartenstein, Caruso, or Ajay Mitchell. That was already three of your top four scorers before the load management three adds yesterday. Isaiah Joe. Now with Cason Wallace, as this will be off the step back, that's Dort as he misses the three. He's got the headband and the dreads. This will be scouted by Jalen Duren, and now it's Cade Cunningham. Cunningham now across the right elbow gets cut off by Luguentz. He's still one of the very best defenders in the league. Duncan Robinson, that's a long three, but he was wide open, top of the key, missed another one. Did not shoot well in that game on Monday, but none of the Pistons did. As Joe now fakes the three, and off the jump pass, Jalen Williams at the top of the key got Duren in his grill, trying to back him down. Here is Wallace with a chance, and now Joe's wide open. Nobody picks him up, and he rainbows it in. Poor defense there for the Pistons, and off the rebound, and OKC's leads back up to three. Sir Thompson now to Cade. Cade driving, beautiful pass to Ronald Holland II, right in off the cut, and so float that in right side baseline, make it 19-18. Pistons all 18 points in the paint. There is no mistake of where they want to go as this gets deflected. Pistons got the ball. Cade gets it up, avoids the turnover. And now this will be lobbed inside to Duren, who's going to draw the foul. Pistons got an opportunity to take the lead at the line, 4:18 in the first. So your Thursday games on Prime is Rockets, Magic, and the Wolves and the Clips. That'll be at 7:30 and 10 Eastern, respectively. Again, Pistons got one more national game for ESPN and the Cavs at 7:30 as Duren makes both. Again, that's the first two at the line. The other 18 points for the Pistons are in the paint. They only lead by one. It's 20-19. Luguentz. Now for Jared McCain, and McCain now trying to step through here is Boeheim, back to Luguentz Dort. I can't believe I'm getting some of these names right. Here's a long three, and this will get tipped up into the air, and this will be knocked down. Opportunity off the spin for Carlson, lost the ball, and Duncan Robinson threw it to nobody except for OKC. Opportunity now for McCain. He gets bumped by Duncan Robinson, and this will be a drive for Kenrich Williams, who loses it, and then skied up by Carlson and gets the layup, 21-20. OKC back in front. Again, they're 45-14. Pistons are 42-14. Ron Holland now for a cutting Duncan Robinson. That was 5-55 as it's Jalen Duren. Got Carlson out. I think he'd go right at this matchup. And he can't get the layup. That's a surprise because he dunked on Victor Wembanyama yesterday. As this will be OKC with the ball. Now a long three attempt. This one is missed at the top of the key, and the Pistons can't save it. So that's going to give OKC another opportunity to shoot. So Barnheiser was the one that previously let it go. Pistons lose it. They can't contain the rebound, and we'll get a TO at 2:59 of the first. Okay, still up by one, 21-20.
So, John, doing some basketball tonight, huh?
Yes, I am. I figured we'll get into the NHL next week. I wanted to get this assignment. Obviously, didn't know there were going to be three other load managements, but OKC's still keeping it close.
Yeah. Although, man, we may see some changes to the 65 game rule.
I think so, Ian.
Yeah. We're about to. knock out both SGA and Jokic out of the MVP conversation, leaving the whole thing pretty much wide open.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was kind of a stupid rule to begin with, to be honest with you. I mean, you could probably take 65 games and maybe say 50 of the 82. I don't think you can completely eliminate everybody, as you said, but that's what they're doing. And then Adam Silver wants to do a coin toss maybe instead of the opening tip. Or we talked about the way that it's been on so many different TV networks and trying to get games. I just don't like what he's doing. I'll be honest with you.
No, but wait, seriously? They're thinking about going to a coin toss instead of a tip?
That's what I heard next year. Coin toss instead of a tip. I think that's stupid because what time does that really save?
I mean, no, the opening tip that's been basketball since its inception.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like, what? That's like saying, oh, by the way, we're just going to completely abandon the kickoff, or we're going to completely abandon the puck drop, or I don't know, let's see, I went through hockey, football. I mean, shoot, baseball doesn't really have anything like that, but, you know.
Well, let me give you something here, Ian, and then I'll let you continue because it's not real baseball, but MLB The Show this year, and for their new edition for 26, when you play games online, you're only allowed to pitch out of the stretch. That would be like a similar rule if they did that in the real baseball, where you can only pitch out of the stretch. I think that'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Let me say this because Ian doesn't know this, and probably Alec or Cooper, because by the time I worked with you guys, mostly I was covering NHL games. But my favorite sport growing up used to be basketball, especially in the 90s and 2000s. But it's just transformed to be so much different. I understand the love of the three-point ball, and I get the point, and I understand why it's so prevalent and why it's needed. But with some of the rule changes and some of the things that have been done, I kind of just deviated away from it. I still love covering basketball, baseball, college sports, everything else, but I kind of just drifted away. So that's just the way it is. We'll get back into the play-by-play here as Jalen Williams knocks down a three. OKC looking very good. Again, it should not be a surprise to me or anyone else, but love the way that they're carrying it, especially on the bench unit. So you got Tropich out there against Dennis Jenkins. There's a back down now for Tobias Harris. The double is shown. He's got to give up his dribble. Paul Reed, and we get a whistle here, and this is going to go the other way. It's going to be OKC ball. They're up 4. JB Bickerstaff, I'm going to go ahead and look on here as this will be recollected now for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and make sure I get some of the other numbers in there tied up as Jared McCain had the ball brought up the floor, and OKC scores again, 26-20. Again, reminds you that the Pistons, with all the injuries and load management, they're favored by 10.5. I know it's early, but this does not look good as far as any of the championship hopes for the Pistons. I don't see that, but I think that they're going to be a decent team. As Paul Reed hook and hit with a reverse from Ron Howland. Ron Howland had a good game yesterday, and so did Paul Reed. This will be brought up the court now. Now toward the left side, this is Williams off a spin, and Kenrich lost it as this is recollected now. Wiggins thought about the three, shoots it in the face of Holland, and hits it from the left side corner. It doesn't matter who they bring out now for OKC. They're knocking everything down. Pistons 0 for 4 from 3, and OKC 5 of 11. Dennis Jenkins cut off across the right elbow. Holland open, right wing corner, missed it again. Paul Reed can't tap it. And this will be an opportunity now for OKC to do more damage. If they get a 3, they can be like a double-digit lead. McCain, he gets his dribble cut off. Aaron Wiggins, Rick Hayswood right side. He's got a series of dribbles going on. He's still with it now. We know he fades away, and this will be off the left side of the rim. Tobias Harris quickly up the floor. Karis LeVert and one. So finally gets something going. Unless they're calling that offensive foul. Yeah, they are. Karis LeVert. They're going to say Jared McCain got there first. Let me look at this one more time. That's about 50-50 to me, and I'm trying to be neutral as possible. Good block there for Reed. Knocks it away. Kendrick Williams get it again. That could have gone either way. It went OKC's way. Williams, Powers. He's going to get an and one this time around, and that I'm for sure of. OKC's going to go to the line, try to make it a 10-point lead in this first with 6 players out. Man, oh man. Kendrick Williams just overpowers Reed. He bulldozes into the lane. That's clean. And then he gets an and one here. Now, are they going to get JB Bickerstaff? I didn't see the point count across on the free throw. So they're going to have to, I guess, do it again. A little bit confusing here, but they're just going to redo that free throw. Is Mark Daigneault going to get some camera shots? But OKC about to take a 10-point lead. Kendrick already hit one. This one's going to count. So 32-22. OKC up by 10. And Karis LeVert across the right wing gets cut off by Williams. Howland bounce pass. A little too much contact there with Reed. This will stay Pistons ball. 28.5 left in the first. Joining with you, Ian Genji listening in as we're taking this one in on ESPN on an NBA Wednesday at LCA. I said in my write-up yesterday that it would be possible between San Antonio, OKC, and Cleveland that the Pistons go 0 for 3 in primetime. Would not be a surprise. Howland missed a wide open three from the right wing. And now Williams can go with the shot clock off. 5 of 12 from 3 for OKC, 0 for 6 for the Pistons. Reminds me a lot of Monday. Step through, and McCain, all sorts of contact. This will go against Detroit. Let me just make sure I mark this in the team stats because it needs to be said as OKC's going to go to the line for Jared McCain. Pistons 10 for 21, 0 for 6 from distance. OKC is 13 of 26, shooting 50%, and 5 of 12 from deep. Both free throws from McCain have been knocked down. Dennis Jenkins got to go. He just gets across the timeline with one, loses the ball. Pistons don't get a shot off. They're down 12 after one to the bench brigade of OKC and Mark Daigneault. We'll see what changes here at the start of the second. Pistons got to get going.
Yeah. So I want to follow up on that on what you said about the changes in the game. It's coming back a little bit, but for a while, it seemed like there was absolutely no defense in the NBA.
I agree with you. It's come back a little bit.
I feel like it's coming back with players like Wemby and others, but also, you look at Oklahoma City, they have a very sound defensive structure.
They do.
With Holmgren protecting the paint and the rest of the guys more or less focusing on the perimeter.
I've noticed in this game, especially Ian, with my first look at them, and again, I'm more impressed because of who's out there, who plays, but it doesn't really matter between that 12, 14-man unit, or wherever you want to go as deep tonight, that everybody plays defense the same way. You said they guard the paint wall. They have good outside speed, foot speed to cut off those angles. And Mark Daigneault's got them well coached. And a lot of these guys can put the ball in the hole. They have no problem scoring.
With Spurs, as long as Greg Popovich is around, you even if he's not coaching, there is never going to be a Spurs team that lacks defensive prowess. I mean, even it's harder to find with them, but even teams like the Charlotte Hornets, when they went on their win streak, there was a level of defense. I'm not saying it was great or anything like that, but there was a level of it. And then you got teams like OKC who can't defend the damn thing. Ipso facto, they're only winning by 4 points against Memphis.
Yeah, you can't have that. I mean, the Warriors, that's kind of embarrassing the way that is, because the Grizzlies, from the last few years, whether or not it's injuries or some of the moves that they've made or haven't made, they're completely unrecognizable, Memphis, over the last, 4 years.
Yeah, I don't. They traded Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz.
Why?
For a steady return, I don't know. I have no idea, but they got a hell of a return because Utah was willing to pay out. I actually questioned the move more for the Jazz.
Okay.
Hang on. The game's coming back, but I'll look up the return for you. And just for Utah, who's still trying to find an identity, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'd be interested when that comes back to have the conversation with you, Ian, because you're going to be enlightening me, and I want to get some of those thoughts. I know the late game is going to be Celtics-Nuggets. That one should be pretty good, honestly. So still waiting, I believe, for the return of Jason Tatum at some point from that ACL, as we're coming back now. 15-2 run for OKC toward the end of that quarter. As now it's Isaiah Joe. Had it knocked away from him by Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert get a little handsy, and this is an opportunity now for Williams. Missed it off the side of the rim, and that had to be rebounded there for Detroit. And they'll finally get this one left to right. Picked up now for Cade Cunningham, who has checked back in. Caris off the spin. Good ball movement there for Detroit. Tried to throw it down. It was Holland, couldn't do it. And Holland will get it back. Holland now inside pass to Paul Reed. Series of pump fakes, and he will go to the line. Javonte Green was out there giving him that pass. But this should be some free throws here for Paul, the former Knick. So the one thing I will say, I know Ian's going to be looking that stuff up. I want to mention this. I know I mentioned a little bit of Monday for Detroit, but I know they don't shoot threes well. You got about 30% if you're lucky, as Paul Reed makes the first. But that's the one thing for Trajan Langdon. You make that move because you have an injury to Jaden Ivey, because unfortunately Cole Anthony getting him injured and having a really bad one there is not going to be able to probably find his game the way it once was. You bring in Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter hasn't shot well this year, but he must be some kind of bad if he can't even find his way in the lineup here for the Pistons, because they have no outside shooting. And he's one of those guys that would normally be able to bring that over the course of his career. So that's just what I'm wondering there. How bad is it for Kevin Huerter that he can't even draw into the lineup? As Cason Wallace gets blocked by Cade Cunningham, and OKC is going to force to be turned the ball over. 10:50 left to go in the first half. John here with you alongside Ian Genji. As Detroit will slowly go left to right again. They're in the all-white jerseys with the red lettering, Royce on the front, and the red, white, and blue on the side. Caris LeVert, he was wide open at the top of the key. He could not make the shot, and OKC able to get this one across. It was a little bit of a turnover there for a moment. Now Cason Wallace will make this pass as this goes in around the horn for Aaron Wiggins. Now at the top of the key, this almost gets knocked away. Here's Isaiah Joe. Good up fake. Misses the three. This is tapped and saved by Reed as Ron Holland the second. Now we'll get this one across the line. Here's a touch pass for Cade, and he never got a hold of it. That is ugly basketball, as this will be sent the other way now for OKC. Here's opportunity for Wallace. He's got the switch on him. Paul Reed, long three for Joe, And Cade, more good defense as he knocks it away. That's the one thing very underrated about number 2 for the Pistons. Paul Reed at the top of the key now for Holland. One more touch pass. No look for Javonte Green. Pistons finally knocked down a 3. Stopic must have missed an assignment, getting some camera shots. OKC 5 of 16, Pistons 1 for 8. Stopic. He'll get the screen. Now he'll reset at the top of the key. Got Paul Reed in his grill. Shot clock down to 8. Get to Isaiah Joe. He's got it at the right elbow. Kenrich Williams got to go. He gets it stripped, but a foul before will go against the Pistons here with 9:10 left to go in the second. That'll get picked up by Ron Holland. As he got tied up, a little too handsy there for Holland. Don't have any problem with that call. So this will stay with OKC. I'll make sure I pull back up the rosters here. I'm still getting familiarized with all the deep bench. As Cason Wallace try to dribble between his legs. Cade tried to force a steal. This goes back to Kenrich Williams. Kenrich now on the back down, trying to go baseline on. LeVert cuts him off. Stopic. This will stay with OKC. Stopic must have fought off Cade Cunningham right underneath the cup. As Mark Daigneault looks on, and a 3-point right off the cup for Cason Wallace. Man, oh man. 37-26. That was from the right wing. Holland now for Reed. As Javonte Green will get a whistle. This will go against OKC and Green. That one's not going to count, the 3 that he shot, but it's good to see it go in. Cason Wallace, 10 points, 4 of 7, 2 of 3 from deep. And they watched it from Monday. Talk about Stephon Castle or Vassell for the Spurs. Man, they just absolutely cooked Detroit. Vassell had 10 threes in that game by himself. Might have been 8. I don't want to over-exaggerate too much. Here's another 3 in the corner. That was open. Holland fights for it. He gets the rebound and puts it in. Ron Holland with the second effort off the bench. 37-28. Pistons still down 9. Holland 2 of 5. He's been open in the corners for threes. He's willing to shoot them. He's just got to start knocking them down. As Green. Good work there for Wallace, but he missed the layup. That would have been tough off the double clutch. Cade try to get it going here. Caris LeVert to the line. He can't knock it down. Pistons save it. Holland at the rim. Reed with a 4th effort. Holland again. And he scores it. 5 efforts for Detroit. They made it 37-30, but yet it's only 2. Isaiah Joe could have walked into a 3. A lofted pass for Kenrich. And that is going to be another foul against Detroit. They're picking up some silly ones here. And Caris LeVert looks to be the guilty party. I believe that's going to be numero dos at least. I will look that up for you there. For Caris LeVert, he's got 3 actually. There's no other Pistons in foul trouble, but Caris a -8 on the floor with 3 fouls. Only Dennis Jenkins is worse with -11. So 8 minutes, 3 fouls. Oscar Thompson will have to check back in. And that kind of stings for Detroit because he's one of the guys that can get you double digits off the bench, but maybe not today. As this will be picked up now for the Pistons, as this will be a charge, and I'm not sure how, as Williams for OKC and Jalen Williams was trying to just keep the basketball alive, and this may have been an illegal screen. And I think Ron Holland sold it pretty well, to be honest with you. But this will be Pistons ball nonetheless. Turnovers are pretty good across the board. It's only 5-5. And now another foul as Barnheiser is going to be called for number 23. A couple of cheap fouls that the Pistons have been able to generate. 23 fouls per game, the most fouls drawn, second most at 21.8. So I guess you kind of keep them like the bad boys. And if you're going to foul someone, they're just going to smack you right across the face and make sure that they earn it. Here's a touch pass from Cade Cunningham on the left side out of bounds. He almost gets pushed back court. Cade now trying to do some moves, and this is a contested mid-range shot for Cade. Don't matter when he's locked in from the mid-range. That is what you like to see as he hit that one over Williams. 6 points on 3 of 3. He's going to have to be more aggressive. As McCain Now he'll back up. It's Jalen Williams and Wiggins. Wiggins now off a spin. Cade fighting through the screen. Jalen Williams, top of the key, does not shoot. Got Cade on the switch. Cade for the reach out. This will be skied nicely for Oscar Thompson. Get it go now for Ron Howell. A lot of speed out there for the Pistons and a lot of shooting, as we talk about. Cade gets a screen there from Javonte Green. Cade now back to Green. One more pass. Howell going to let it go from the right corner. Missed it again. Again, he's wide open on those, and until he hits them, nobody's going to guard him. As Barnheiser will make this pass across, and we will get a whistle before the shot. 37-32. Holland going to plead his case. JB Bickerstaff looks like he's going to take a timeout. Pistons put the deficit to 5 as Kate Cunningham hit a shot that was contested from 16, top of the key. We'll take a break.
So, John, I pulled up the details of that JJJ trade.
Sure.
Okay, listen to this. The Memphis Grizzlies trade to the Utah Jazz Jaren Jackson Jr., center Jake Lawndale, and guard John Conchar and Vince Williams Jr. In return, they received rookie guard Walter Clayton Jr., forwards Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and Georges Niang, and 3 first-round picks.
Holy cow!
And these are the picks, and when you look at them, they don't look like much until you look at the team they got them from. So the picks are the Los Angeles Lakers 2027 first-round pick. The Lakers are volatile right now. You have no idea what's going to happen next year.
Right, we would say no LeBron, correct?
Right. The Jazz's own first-round pick in 2027.
Okay.
And the Phoenix Suns in 2031. Again, you have no idea what's going to happen with Phoenix.
Phoenix might be a situation, and to your point, and I'll let you continue, where you can get a top 10 pick out of that.
Yeah, and truth be told, I don't see any protections on any of those here, but I could be missing them. But regardless, yeah, Memphis did the right thing here.
I think so.
They realized they weren't going anywhere and said, oh, so you want to give us a king's ransom, basically, for 4 of our players? Sure.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. If I'm Memphis, I'm doing the same thing too. I think they made the right call. As you said, you won't know about the picks until later, but considering the ones that you talked about with the Lakers, Jazz, and Suns, you're right. Those are 3 very volatile teams. Yes, the Lakers are still going to be relevant because you got Luka Doncic, but you both imagine that LeBron not retiring next year, but LeBron's probably going to find a way to go back home to Cleveland. The Phoenix Suns have a lot of work to do to fix everything, and I would imagine at that point Devin Booker's not going to be part of the equation. And the Utah Jazz look like they still have a lot of growing to do. Yes, I like Ace Bailey and some of the other players that they do have, but they're not ready yet.
No, so right now Memphis is in rebuild mode. Not as much as the Kings. You know what? I'm gonna put this to bed for everyone.
Sure.
The Kings are not tanking. They just suck.
They just stink. Yeah. You remember when they made that move for the Indiana Pacers big man, and forget that I forget his name, but then you have the light the beam and everything else, and they made the playoffs like one time in that span of 3 years, and now they go back to being completely irrelevant as they've mostly been throughout their whole existence.
Yeah, pretty much.
Duncan Robinson hits a 3, and the Pistons now have their second off the setup from Kane. Now, if the Pistons win this game, that should not come as a surprise. I think it's a formality, but we'll see, as that's a great play, and this will be a foul against Detroit, and that one is going to count. This is right at the rim and finished by OKC as Jalen Williams go to the line for one more. Williams puts his head down right at Green and then just one-hands it off the side of the backboard and gets the friendly roll, throws it in at the rim and goes in. So, again, regardless of what happens with OKC, the way their bench is playing and everything else, it's no surprise to Ian. Shouldn't come as a surprise to me, but this is why, as Jalen Williams completes the and one, even when you talk about the Spurs, I think OKC is going to repeat. They might do so easily from the way I'm seeing these guys play. I just like the way that what I'm seeing is Dennis Jenkins. Now for Thompson, pro baseline. Beautiful passing there. Gives Duran a dunk after 3 extra passes inside. Pistons still down 3. Jalen Williams. Pocket pass. Oh, what a block by Thompson. As this goes the other way now, Harris. Officer Love to Jalen Duran. That's a highlight play. And Mark Daigneault going to take a TO.
I'll say this, John. For all the flaws the Detroit Pistons may have, they are more than welcoming to just play scrappy basketball.
I sure do, Ian. I agree with you there. That's all I'm seeing is fighting inside, scrapping, playing defense, and trying to run. Kind of reminds you of the 1980s.
Yeah, or shoot, even the 2000s.
2000s as well, yeah.
It's like, yeah, the thing that kind of, unfortunately, what's made basketball so, what really changed basketball was the money and the incorporating and the skyrocketing of 3-point. I mean, you can look at one guy in particular, but there have been plenty of sharpshooters.
Sure.
But again, it wasn't really that bad until Steph Curry came into the league.
Steph Curry kind of changed not just the league, but if you played in any sort of NBA 2Ks around the time, even the way that they space the stuff in the video game, it's all threes or nothing else. I mean, for me, I'm going to throw a name out there of someone who I love to watch, who killed in the mid-range, was Jamal Crawford. Those guys don't exist anymore, but I loved watching him play.
Yep, Jamal Crawford. He was the ultimate, I say that, the ultimate six-man.
He'll cross you up, he'll knock down the mid-range, he'll go to the free throw line with a high percentage. He could still hit you some throws as well, but just instant offense. He was one of my favorite guys to watch. And again, it's one of those things too, and I know it goes without saying for the Lob City Clippers, but that was pretty much when I was covering a ton of games in the NBA at the time. And Yankees still had threes, but you had a lot of excitement there with the dunks. You had the mid-range. I still like that Grant Hill was playing in his early 40s. I like that team, even though they didn't do that much. But
yeah. Oh, by the way, just quick hockey update here. We have 4 games going on between Sabres, Devils, Flyers, Caps, Maple Leafs, Lightning, Kraken, Stars, and the only team that scored a goal are the Capitals. Everyone else is still 0-0.
Thank you for that, Ian. I'm going to look this up right now to see Rasmus Sandin, his third from Lapierre and Jacob Chychrun, as Logan Thompson didn't have to play much for Team Canada because it was Jordan Binnington. He's 14 of 14. Dan Vladar, 15 of 16. I saw a post the other.
Never mind, but Tage Thompson just scored 2 goals in a matter of. Wait a second. And if this is saying he just scored 2 goals in a matter of 3 seconds, I think it has to be a minute 3 seconds.
I'm gonna look that up again because it went away and went back to 1. I'm gonna see, and because I saw 2 as well. I want to make a point once we get to the half. I'm not going to try to go too political here, but I did see something that I want to at least discuss with Ian, as this one is tipped up in the air. McCain, one more for the OKC Thunder as Wiggins now with a floater knocks it down. Everybody scoring and sharing the basketball from our Daigneault squad. That's why they're still up by 3. It's the best in the West against the best in the East. Dennis Jenkins. Now he'll back up across the Pistons logo. What kind of pass was that from Duncan Robinson? But off the second jump, little pogo stick for Jalen Duren, able to corral it and then put it home. As Duncan Robinson fight through the defense, Jalen Duren with an outside block. Pistons now trying to take the lead as Dennis Jenkins back it off. Now at the top of the key. He's dribbling between his legs. Floating shot misses. Duren taps. Duren up. Draws the foul. They'll go to the line and try to get the Pistons a 1-point lead right at 4:22 the half. They must have waved off something or put something they didn't mean to, but Tage Thompson already his 31st of the year from Krebs and Bowen Byram. Jake Allen, 15 of 16, has lost his last 4 starts. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is 19 of 19.
Yeah. He's really rebounded, and I hope this means that Buffalo has found their franchise netminder.
Yeah, they need that because you still got the backup for the former Detroit Red Wing. Again, I'm blanking on names. I'm getting too old. But Alex Lyon and then Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and then you got Devin Levi, who's also in the system. Buffalo's got some serious prospects in goaltending, but if Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen can be that guy, as you said, that's big. Is this one too hard and off the backboard? OKC still up by 1, as Duren will take this up the timeline. For Duncan Robinson, almost forced a 3. Dennis Jenkins ball on the floor. He'll mid-range from 16, and Dennis Jenkins gives the Pistons the lead. He turned a 10-day into the rest of the year for Dennis. That's pretty good, 43-42. Here is Jalen Williams answering for 3. It's 45-43. This game has gone back and forth. 9 for 17 Pistons in the second quarter, 4 for 15 OKC. Back down, Oscar Thompson. He will go to the line with 3:20 left to go in the second.
I just thought of something. The OKC commentators really have to be good because they have to worry about pronunciating the difference between Jaylin and Jaylin because you got two Williams boys with identical names.
Yeah, you got Jalen Williams, and then you got the other ones, Kenrich Williams, and then there's so many other ones there. I remember doing a game when LeBron broke the scoring record, and it was a game against OKC, and he had 4 of those guys in the same thing. And that was the first time I ever got introduced to it, and I was just confused. So
Yeah.
It's real tough, but all these guys are good. McCain. Now for Jaylin. Pro baseline. Aaron Wiggins for 3, top of the key. That's bounced off the backboard and wide. And Cade Cunningham will take it up the court. Cade trying to get around McCain. Lob to Duren, one-handed. And he flushes it home. He's an all-star big man for a reason. I've been starting to see that the last couple of days. A little too handsy there as Oscar Thompson. But they're going to say backcourt violation, question mark? As Mason says Detroit basketball, let me see. So they're going to show the lob for Cade. That's a pretty good finish there for Jalen Duren, one-handed flush. Where's the push, if they show it here? We're not going to get it. I apologize. I didn't catch it. So Duncan Robinson on the right side, sideline out of bounds. Will now go from Duren to Cade. He'll get a soft screen for Duncan Robinson. Cade, Duncan's wide open. Will step through, leaning right wing. Jalen Duren again. Gets the rebound and lays it in. Fights through Williams and company. He is cleaning up on the glass as he probably should. Again, you got no Chet, Holmgren, or Isaiah Hartenstein. Jalen Duren back-to-back strong games. And another three-pointer for Jalen Williams. Ties the game at 48. OKC not going away. 16 points, 6 of 8, 3 of 5 from 3. He's kind of got the Vassell, Stephen Castle line last year. Cade, top of the K3, too strong. And Jalen's got the board. He's been the MVP of this game right now, alongside Jalen Duren. Jalen Williams now will make this pass back out to Aaron Wiggins. Wiggins gets cut off left elbow. Here's Luguentz, Dort for 3, airballs it, but that's an easy rebound for Kenrich Williams. That's just kind of unfortunate the way it works sometimes. You airball and you're in perfect position in the paint. Cade, step through. Duncan Robinson doesn't shoot. Tobias Harris. One more for Ausar Thompson in the corner. Cade leaner, right wing. Cade knocks it down for 3. 51-50. Pistons back up by 1. 1:20 left to go in the second. Jalen Williams fakes the 3. Wiggins. He hits it off the side of the backboard. His three-point prominence doesn't look that good. He's missing them pretty bad. As this is Thompson now. Between his legs, Tobias thought about it. He'll put the dribbles on. He gets cut off right baseline. Duncan Robinson, a little too handsy was Kenrich. And he gets called for the foul right at 1 minute. Duncan Robinson at the line for Detroit, the former D3 player turned a D1 as he makes the first basket, now playing not for his hometown team, but for Michigan at least, and then coming over to Detroit. Karis LeVert would be the same type of deal as well. I thought those were good bench signings there for Trajan Langdon in the offseason, just to try to get you some more shooting. But they still need some more. If the Pistons really want to be a contender, and I think that this core is really good. They're really young. You could talk about Alvin Thompson or Ausar Thompson or who you should have taken, but I love his defense and speed. And then you got Cade, Jalen Duren. Then we'll get Isaiah Stewart back from suspension. But if they can just add some consistent three-point shooting, I think that kind of changes things for Detroit because they're so adept inside that they're good enough there, but they just don't have the outside shooting to win a title. And I can't take them seriously until that happens. But JB Bickerstaff is a great coach, and I like the way that it's gone. They've definitely improved, and JB is the right guy for the job. It's kind of like how it is for Todd McClellan for the Red Wings. Here's a chance that goes in and out. And was this last touch by Cade or not? This will be Detroit's basketball, as Jalen Williams was the last to touch it. So Pistons now up by 3. They've had a good second quarter. You would have to think, this would be the one time I can actually say this and it would be true, that the bench depth will be tested for OKC and they'll probably be gassed toward the end of the game because they're playing short-handed. And Detroit's got to take advantage of that, especially off a back-to-back. Duncan Robinson hits the 3 from the left wing. Pistons on an 8-0 run. They lead 56-50. Cason Wallace probing. Good pass to Jalen Williams, up and under pass. Inside back to Cason. That's a good two-man game. And he gets a lay-in right up the cup. 56-52. Piston lead cut the floor. Shot clock is turned off. They'll get the last possession. Ausar. They're backing way away. Daring him to shoot. Down to 5. Ausar works toward the mid-range instead. Takes it. Nobody picked him up. Good work there, young man. 58-52. And now it's McCain. Lets it go. And he airballed it. 58-52. Pistons lead by 6 as we end the half. Let's get you your leading scorers, we'll get you a reset, and then we'll probably look at the NHL during the break. So for OKC, you got 16 points for Jalen Williams in 16 minutes. Jalen Duren, one more time, he led all scorers for the Pistons on Monday. He has been dominant. He's 8 of 11, 18 points, 7 rebounds. This is a matchup you think he has to take advantage of. I was really impressed with what he did against Victor Wembanyama the other day. I mean, he had a poster dunk on Wemby as well. So Jalen Duren, as far as an all-star, yes, I think that's pretty clear. That I got a chance to watch Andre Drummond a while when he was here. I know his career had taken some ups and downs, but I think even for Duren, as dominant of a rebounder as Andre Drummond was, Duren's kind of the same type of mold, not really a shooter, getting all of his baskets in close and overpower people. I think he's got a little bit more skill. I would say even more so, Duren's ahead of schedule more than Drummond was.
Sorry, John had to take care of something.
Oh, good.
So what is it that you wanted to discuss?
I want to discuss something that I saw on social media. And again, I know a lot of you guys in between you, Alec Cooper, and a lot of the ones that I know probably on social media. Obviously, we lean it differently politically, but that doesn't matter because all I care about is the actions and whether or not you're good people. I don't care who leans where. But I did see a comment that was pretty much bad mouthing USA Hockey, not just for attending the State of the Union, but the one thing I saw made me sick. And it was a post that was put out by NHL.com, as they usually do. And they showed Dylan Strome and his daughter at Disney World, right, during the break. Keep in mind, Dylan Strome is Canadian. He does not play for USA Hockey. But they were accusing Dylan Strome of being at the State of the Union. And there was a bunch of badmouth comments on Facebook and Instagram against Dylan Strome and the presidency. I couldn't believe it. He's Canadian. You don't even know what you're getting mad at.
Look, I do have my problems with this administration.
Sure.
They are, shoot, you could look at my timeline. It is well
Sure.
known. However, I am not going as hard as others are on the U.S. hockey team, and certainly I am going nowhere close to Dylan Strome because number one, he has nothing to do with this. But number two, look, the U.S. hockey team just won gold after 46 years, and to be honest, I don't know who let the director in or whatever. I don't know who talked to who. But the fact of the matter is, I'm willing to bet it was not the players who said, hey, let's invite him in. That falls to coaches, security, and a bunch of other people before it gets to the players.
Yep.
And look, you just won gold. You're on a euphoric high. So I'm not vilifying them the same way that others are. You know?
I agree with you.
Because first and foremost, at the end of the day, they're human beings, but as professionals, they're hockey players.
Yeah.
And they play and they won at. But let's face it, the Olympics are the highest level of hockey you can win at. So, you know, whatever problems I may have, whatever disagreements I have with one party or another. The fact of the matter is, these are hockey players, and I guarantee you this. If a certain someone on a certain FaceTime call had said something deliberately demeaning the women's hockey team, somebody would have said something.
I agree with you.
I mean, because you cannot convince me that if it was blatant, that they would have been laughing the way they would have.
You know what, Ian? Again, I said the same thing between you, Cooper, Alec, and I said this even on vacation. I didn't tell this story, but I'll say it now for the reporter side because everybody already knows it. You guys do lean differently from where I do, but yet at the same time, I can say that yeah, I mean we're all friends for the same reason because we actually treat people with respect and care about each other, and that's what matters. And I agree with everything you said about the administration stuff before that. But I went on vacation with Cooper, his wife, and my cousin, and yeah, it was whatever you want to say. They couldn't be farther away from me in certain things, but it didn't matter. We all enjoyed each other's company. We're out there to have a good time and treat each other with respect, and that's what matters. And it's crazy to me that people can't do that anymore. They're just completely incapable. I don't know if it's just because you're right, administration or whatnot, but social media poison that's kind of diluted people into brain rot, and then they can only have a 30-second attention span of what they see on TikTok, and they can't even think for themselves. But it's kind of crazy.
The only thing I will knock the U.S. team for is going to the White House instead of Flavor Flav with the ladies. Because at least with Flavor Flav, one is a party, and two, with Flavor Flav, I don't think you're going to be eating fast food.
No, you're not. I'm sure he's not. The clock that he wears around his neck costs more than anything you can get at McDonald's. Yeah. So you're not you're not eating fast food.
Politics or not, let's be honest. Anyone that goes for a visit at the White House should not be eating fast food.
No, I agree.
I mean, I don't know who still works there or not, but from what I've heard, they have some of the best, they're supposed to have some of the best chefs in the world, and instead of that, you get them McDonald's or whatever the hell they get.
I actually was going to ask you that because I was thinking the same thing because I know that you have the best world-class chefs. You're in the White House. What are you going to do? Just tell them to take the day off?
To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if they've all been fired.
Yeah, maybe they're going to say that as the way of their cuts, as way of something else, if we're just going to say it that way, which is probably not wrong there, to be honest with you, Ian. There's certain things I scratch my head. The one thing that I do not agree with, I'm going to say this here openly, and it might seem small, but I really don't think it is. There's no reason why you should have plaques underneath the presidents that are already there, like Abraham Lincoln, for instance, where he says Trump is my favorite president. I think that's absolutely asinine and stupid. He should not be able to come up with his own words in front of the presidents that have already been there. I think that's dumb.
Well, when
that's dumb.
Well, a narcissist is going to be a narcissist, and we can all agree. There's no mistaking. You can spot a narcissist.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Again, I don't know anyone who would be agreeing with that. Let me go ahead and, holy cow, I guess this is not a surprise again, but it's a surprise it's not a power play goal. Why Johnston scores. He's got the only one against the Kraken. He's got 30 already, Ian. Esa Lindell, 18th assist. Thomas Harley, 19th. Casey DeSmith only had to make 3 saves In that first period, Joey Decord 9 of 10, but 30 spot there for Wyatt Johnson. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Wow, it's Casey DeSmith backing up Jake Ottinger?
Yeah, Jake Ottinger didn't even play, right, in the Olympics side, so wouldn't he get the start tonight? I guess not.
I guess not, but, I don't know. All I'm hoping for at the end of this is just, the fervor's going to die down eventually. The guys will go back to play. We'll go back to playing hockey.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I just want Tage Thompson to win MVP and the Sabres to win the Stanley Cup just to make the rest of the league crap themselves.
If they win the Stanley Cup, you shouldn't be inviting Kevin Adams there to celebrate because he was the guy that drafted the team, correct?
No.
No? Or have him stay far away?
No, because they'll bring Kevin Adams back and somehow they'll make the Stanley Cup disappear.
So it's just an aura of bad air for Kevin Adams. I'm not going to argue your point.
The stories I've heard from Buffalo Sabres fans is that Kevin Adams, bar none, is the worst GM, is one of the worst GMs in Buffalo sports history, not just Sabres. And that's saying something.
Yeah, that does say a lot. Braden Point gets the opening goal. 12:43 of the second. That one on TNT from Dusteau and Pontus Holmberg at 7:07. The Big Cat 11 of 11, and Anthony Stolarz 8 of 9. Capitals still got the 1-0 lead against Tage Thompson, the Buffalo Sabres. Ian mentioned this. He's got the only goal. They're going to get set to start the third period at some point. I'm going to pause the recorder here, and then we'll jump in for the start of the third in between OKC and the Stones. So Kate Cunningham not shot a lot today. Again, the game against the Spurs, he did not shoot well at all. He shot about almost 30 shots as well. Just 4 or 5, 9 points, scored or assisted on 21 of them for Detroit. And they'll start the third quarter 58-52. Outscored in the second 36-18, minus 18, worst margin in any quarter this season. But again, take that with a grain of salt because the Thunder are without 6 players. So they're trying to fight as much as they can. They're still only down 4. If the Pistons don't end up winning this by 15, I'd be a little bit concerned. Pistons are 37-4 when leading at halftime. But again, I watched a lot from OKC in this game and their bench depth. All these guys are scoring and playing hard, playing good defense as well. As this one for McCain knocks it down from the elbow from 12. It's 58-54, and we'll see the way that it continues. Cade. Now for Duncan Robinson, right wing, he pump fakes, gives it back to Cade. Cade now trying to work on Luguentz. Dort gets him up in the air. Hits the 3. Right wing corner there for Cade. 61-54. Pistons up by 7. 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting. Way more efficient. Figured he was going to have a bounce back game. As this is stripped right in the hands of Thompson. Pistons have numbers on a 3-on-2. Lobbed to Duran, got deflected. Thompson had the idea, but never had the execution. Cason Wallace. Now is a corner 3 from McCain, and it's in and out. There's Jaylin Duran's got it. Slowly right to left, that's where the Pistons go in the white jerseys with the blue and red, white striping on the pant legs. Cade, one-hand floater. This is too strong off the back iron. Almost gets a tie up, and I think the Pistons going to be called for a foul here. Cade Cunningham will pick it up. That will be only his first. Again, he was playing with 5 fouls pretty much the whole time in the game against Monday against the Spurs, as they show his behind the back and then jump fake on Luguentz Dort. As this is Aaron Wiggins inside, nobody picks up Cason Wallace. That's poor defense. Nobody's in the paint. 61-56. Cade go from right to left. Luguentz Dort try to push him back as the shot clock down to 10. Cade's still with it. Make an overhead pass and stepped out of bounds, did Tobias Harris. So good defense there for OKC across the left side of the out of bounds. Make it 61-56 still. OKC with the ball, trying to draw closer. They're only down 5. Great move. Cason Wallace beats Cade to the cup, and JB Bickerstaff says, let's not let this get away from us. We're still up by 3. Good timeout there, I think. 10:02 left in the third. So an uncontested layup for Cason Wallace, and then a drive to the rim past Cade Cunningham will force JB to take a timeout. Make sure I mark that in my notes. It is 10:02 left in the third, and the Pistons' lead is cut to 3, 61-58. There is nothing that hasn't happened in this game so far that hasn't changed my belief. OKC is winning the title. That is what I'm still going to be saying right now, even though I watched the Spurs on Monday. If everybody continues to rotate and play defense like this and they can still keep things competitive this short-handed, I'm taking them to win it.
I have to agree with you. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I mean, same. John, do you remember the last time a GM has hit has hit this much on almost every move he's made. That's the way that Sam Presti has. Because I'll say this, not even Brett Beach helped build 3 Super Bowl teams. He has not had the same amount of success at drafting and signing that Sam Presti has.
No, and I mean, he had Danny Ainge a little bit a while with the Celtics. They were consistently good for a long time. No, I don't. Dude, he's got all these lottery tickets, and he's not hitting doubles or singles. He's hitting grand slams.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, even with Danny Ainge, you know, I mean, he got all those picks from Brooklyn, but it took a long time for that to gel.
And for me, I'm only thinking about, and you probably know this better than I do, what was it, like 2 or 3 seasons after Durant left, and it was just Westbrook, and then all of a sudden I felt like they were already back again.
Well, actually, no, they were still good with just Westbrook, and then they traded for Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. They were still good, and then it looked like they were headed for the doldrums after they traded both Westbrook and Paul George in the same offseason. And then, you know, Chris Paul just decides to have the best year of his career with not a rookie Shai, but I think like a second-year Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari to be his, you know, to be his teammates.
Right.
So, you know, just one of those things. Sam Presti, just more magic, I guess.
Yeah, it just never stops with him. Luguentz Dort gets another opportunity at a left elbow 3, knocks it down. They're only down 2. Here's a spin. Duran fights to the lane. He'll get the basket. No foul call. 65-61. Isaiah Joe and Branden Carlson out for the rest of the game. And I wonder why, as that's going to make an even shorter bench. So if I go ahead and look at this right now, in terms of the box, again, Isaiah Joe and Carlson are going to be in the game either way. So Topic's going to have to play more. Already don't have Caruso. Buddy Boeheim hasn't entered the game. So Carlson only played 4 minutes. Joe played 14. So that would put them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players if they don't check everything else. They're playing with just an 8-man rotation today against Detroit, and it's still only a 4-point deficit. So Barnizer, and off the trigger, he'll take this baseline. It's now McCain, who missed the 3, and Jalen Duren will get the rebound to Cade Cunningham. Cade. Inside cut there, pass to Oscar Thompson, right in stride. They'll make it a 6-point off the dunk. Topic lost the ball for a moment, picks it back up. Top of the key for Jalen Williams now. Williams, he's getting pressured a little bit there for McCain. Get blocked by Cade. Pistons trying to do something on the fast break. It's cut off. They'll wait for Cade to get it going. Cade down the lane. Beautiful pass. Thompson. And he spins and hits the layup. 69-61. Again, I won't get ahead of myself considering who's on the floor here for OKC, but they have to get this win as this is saved right to Jalen Williams from Topic. Luguentz cut off by Duren. Good defense. So put a hand in the air, and Oscar Thompson will get the pumpkin. Detroit trying to go up by double digits. And with OKC being as undermanned as they are, that's got to happen. Cade, Thompson, lefty, and he missed. He tried to double clutch. Bounce pass. Cade blocks it again! He got Topic. Back-to-back blocks for Cade. Duncan Robinson, baseline, lays it in. 71-61. Cade Cunningham bringing the defense. And that'll force Daigneault to take a timeout. It's an 8-0 run. Let's take one more look. Still waiting for the third to start between the Sabres and Devils. That one, 1-0. Tage Thompson. Flyers have scored. Noah Cates is 11 from Sanheim and Bobby Brink. Logan Thompson, 18 of 19. Dan Vladar having an excellent game as well, 23 of 24. Stars now up by a couple. Matt Duchene, much needed secondary scoring. So of note, Casey DeSmith only 4 of 4. Just 4 shots for the Kraken with 18-11 left to go in the second. And the Bolts up 2-0 on the Leafs. Gage Consalvis from Nikita Kucherov. You want to take a wild guess how many assists Kucherov has on the year? Dusteau gets another point. Vasilevsky, 16 of 16. Stolarz, 15 of 17. It's been a while since we've seen Stolarz, but he's in the game. If you're keeping score at home, Nikita Kucherov has 63 assists. 63. Avalanche and Mammoth are underway. And we'll see if Nathan MacKinnon, let alone Cale Makar, but especially Nathan MacKinnon. Now, Ian was with me on the call alongside Alec Nava when we covered that gold medal game between USA and Canada. And when they handed Nathan MacKinnon that stuffed bear, and I saw the look of burning fire and brimstone in his eyes, kind of makes you wonder if you're going to see him go into Super Saiyan mode for the rest of this close up until the end, getting into the playoffs. The Avalanche still just 37, 9-9. The Mammoth have a good record as well, 30, 23, 4. Cason Wallace pass to Jalen Williams, Luguentz, Dort. Topic, good feed there. Wallace for 3. Tapped up, saved by the Thunder. Jalen Williams wide open for 3. Cason Wallace almost fought Tobias Harris for the board for a third time. But now Harris will clean it up to Cade. Cade gets to the contact bounce. Harris, Cade wide open for 3, doesn't shoot. And the defense will collapse. Now for that, splits. Picked up by Jalen Duren. This should stay with Detroit. 6:31 left to go in the third. Good rip through there for the replay. Let me make sure I get this number here for Jared McCain, but it was blocked by Cade as they're showing his defensive intensity. Again, he's got 6.3 blocks per game, leads the NBA. Detroit Pistons. Pistons have 7 tonight. It's good old-fashioned defense for Jimmy Bickerstaff's squad. That's what I love. Tobias can't knock it down. Duren, second effort. Duren, third effort. It draws the foul. Considering who's on the floor, as we talked about all night, with Topic there and Cason Wallace, Jalen Duren should have a field day. Pistons still only up 10, and that's got to be more, considering what's at stake. Pistons looking to improve to 43-14, and that would only mean that the Oklahoma City Thunder would fall to 45-15, so it's not really going to worry for them. There's just something for the fans to be able to look at as Duren makes the free throw. So it's an 11-point lead now. 6:20 left to go in the third. Jimmy Bickerstaff going to go ahead and get some more commands out there for his squad. Watching this one on ESPN, I know it's local for some of this, but for where I'm at now, I can only carry anything national. So thankful that's why we're covering the Pistons from Peacock and ESPN the next couple of days. I would do Friday, I don't want to do 3 games in a row there for Detroit because I got NHL 26 playoffs with Mr. Edwards here this weekend. I got to get that stuff taken care of on the night side, so I'm going to rest a little bit. Cade with a steal. It's Thompson down the lane, and this will be fouled. And Thompson, no problem, pumps back up. He gives a tap there for Topic. No worries at 6:05 of the third. Appreciate any of you guys that have jumped in on the YouTube and X Space. Had a good conversation with Mr. Genji. First free throw is missed for Thompson, but he got one more. Cade is one of 3 players with 3,000 points and 1,000 assists in over 2 seasons. And Thompson misses both. Still 73-61, Pistons lead by 12. Spread was set at 10.5, but now there's even more injuries. Topic can't knock it down. It was Duncan Robinson with some decent defense. Don't say that often. And this pass for Cade. I don't think that was a bad pass for Cade in the open floor for Tobias, but he couldn't catch it clean. Turnovers just 8 for the Pistons, just 9 for OKC. So both teams been pretty good with the basketball, not too sloppy. Topic. Points off turnovers, 12-9. OKC leads that. They're down 12. 5:40 left to go in the third. Topic. Here's a pass for Luguentz, Dort. And this is too hard. Jalen Duran, an easy rebound. Nobody in front of him. And Oscar Thompson can slowly take this across the timeline. Now to Cade. Cade with a jab step. Going to get things going against Luguentz. Good screen there. Luguentz, good work to fight through it. One more pass and a big dunk there for Ron Holland II. Set up there for Jalen Duran. 75-61. It's a 12-0 run for the Pistons. Topic trying to close it. Bounce pass. Kenrich Williams. He got Duran to get up in the air and then negates the run, but it's still 12-2. Also Thompson. Cade going to give it up. Going to let Thompson run some point. Left elbow. Thompson give to Cade. He's got it at the top of the key. Shot clock at 10. Thompson, Duncan Robinson open enough on the right wing, and he hits it. 78-63. Pistons up by 15. And we will take, we're not out of bounds, no timeout here. It'll still be Thunderball, 13 points, 3 of 6. Duncan Robinson. I think he's going to take a seat, but he's been able to shoot much better in this game. And Duncan Robinson with a quick trigger across that right wing. That's what you have to have. Pistons can knock down some threes. It opens up everything else in their paint, and that's what they've got to be able to do. 78-63 your score. Here is Kenrich Williams. He'll knock it down for 3 at the top of the key. It's down to 12. 78-66. Pistons still feeling good. 0 for 7 from 3 to start since 6 of 10. So that's about the upper extent of what they can do. Again, 60%, that last stretch from starting 0 for 7, you will take that. As JP Bickerstaff can give his team some more signs. Again, there are a lot of people here considering this game and the 2 teams. Just a shame to see all the injuries that have been. Pierce LeVert, with his 3 fouls, will check in. Game. There's a rip of a pass. Did that actually bounce off Ron Holland? I think it did. 4:15 left to go in the third. So Kenrich Williams make this pass to Aaron Wiggins on the right wing. Kenrich, pro baseline. Topic tries to save it. He throws right to the Pistons. Oscar Thompson keep his head up. Good pass inside the lane to Paul Reed. That was patience there for Oscar. He could have forced that first pass. He did not. Kept it under control. He spun and got an open one there for Reed. Like that there. As this gets deflected by Detroit. Cade, this will stay with the Thunder. Pistons forced to steal. Now it's Reed. He'll spin. Up and under gets knocked away. And this will stay with the Pistons. Here, and Wiggins will be guilty of it again. The scoreboard reads 80-66. And you think at some point the Pistons, with the expanded bench that they have against maybe an 8-man rotation for OKC, you had 3 guys off load management, 3 were injured, and then you had Isaiah Joe not coming back in, as well as Braden Carlson. As another free throw is missed by Detroit. They've not been sharp in that area today. Walter Thompson will take a break, and that will draw a large reaction to the crowd, a bunch of cheers. Mr. Thompson, when he can run the lane and get some defense and steals, he builds up his shooting. That is the last thing he's got to do as Reed splits the pair. 81-66 is your score. Joining me with you now on a solo call from LCA, but I had Ian Genji with me for a lot of this. OKC just 4-4 at the line. Pistons tonight have 16, and they're not shooting well there, at least. As Cason Wallace, and off the step back on Cade, knocks it down on 22 against 2. Good work there for Cason. He's had a strong game, all things considered. Cade, step back. He answers on Cason, 83-68. Cade's had a very efficient game, has not shot a lot. His defense has been splendid per usual. Cason Wallace, he'll step through on Herter, who was checked in. It's good to see him. Want to get him some shots. Kenrich Williams on Paul Reed. Good defense there for Paul. Denies Wiggins at the rim. And then Wiggins blocked by Cade, I thought. And a whistle will be called. Cade almost did it again. That would have been his third. And Cade says, come on, man. That was close enough, wasn't it? So Cade's pass was a little bit lazy to Holland. And then, I thought that was awfully close for Cade to be able to get one there on the way down. But he must have hit him across the hands. That's tough. I thought that was pretty darn close for Cade, to be honest with you. And I guess Rasheed Wallace ball don't lie. Cade Cunningham will stay on the floor. And Aaron Wiggins got one more coming. So Kevin Herter hopefully gets a chance to play most of this fourth quarter. Go at 2:37 in the third. Wiggins will split. So the first free throw miss, 5 of 6 was OKC now. Cade will lead now for Karis LeVert. Ron Holland now to Cade from the right elbow. Karis thought about the three. He'll pump fake, go baseline. That's a very tough floater across the left side of the glass. He'll knock it down, though, 85-69. Cason Wallace gets around Herter, splits the defense. And Herter will be picking up one. That'll be his first. But you just want to see him shoot some baskets. That's all I really care about at this point. Pistons should be able to win this game comfortably, considering the bench has gotten even smaller. I said that coming into this game. Even if it was just, not having the load management for Chet, Holmgren, Hartenstein, and Caruso, let's say they were all playing. If you have SJ, Jalen Williams, and AJ out, you should still win this game. As this will be knocked down. Jared McCain will hit it. 85-72. Cade between his legs, back down Cason Wallace, a 2 against 22. Cade draws 2. Karis LeVert wide open, top of the key. Karis will answer. 88-72. Pistons trying to pull away here. 1:35 left to go in the third. Cason Wallace will answer at the top of the key. He has had himself a mighty fine, strong game. Karis LeVert, 12 of 35. OKC has let the artillery go a lot. LeVert, not the tie up inside. Paul Reed's going to get an easy bunny at the rim. 90-75. Pistons almost forced to steal with Ron Holland, but a little bit too close there. 1:14 left in the third. Cade's got 16 off the lane on 7 and 10, 11 assists, a very efficient game. Good bounce back there from Monday. He got right around Herder. He's just red carpeting on that defense. Jared McCain will go to the line to shoot 2. 49 seconds left to go in the third. It's fun to see the Pistons win a game. I just wish that it would be against a more close-knit together OKC team. I don't think if OKC was at full power that the Pistons probably would lose by 20, considering how good they are. 4th straight game with 10 assists, 2 blocks. Second longest streak since 73-74. Mookie Blaylock had 5 in 94. LeVert has Herder open on the right wing side as Reed gets blocked. He was on the left elbow. Herder now on the backup as McCain will leave this one out for Cason Wallace. McCain does not shoot the first. He leans for the second and knocks it down again. OKC, I have to say this honestly, they're still only down 12 with 18 seconds left to go in the third. Jared McCain, 21 minutes, 12 points, 2 of 6, shooting threes as the shot clock turned off. Reed, a little bit too handsy for Kendrick Williams. Will get called for the foul on Caris LeVert. Former Michigan man now playing for the Pistons. You got Mohamed Abdul-Rahman at one time, Trey Burke, same category, Caris LeVert, just 2 of 4, 5 points in 13 minutes. But important bench scoring. Reason why it's been cut a little bit because he had 3 early fouls as Caris LeVert rattles the first one home. Thursday on Prime, it's Rockets Magic and Wolves and Clippers at 7:30 and 10. 7 o'clock, Pistons get another national against the Cavs, and then the Nuggets will as well against OKC. We'll see if Chet Holmgren even plays in that game. As Aaron Wiggins will get set to check back in. You got, was it Buddy Boeheim? I believe there on the bench. Yeah, Buddy Boeheim, former Syracuse man. 11.3 left to go in the third before we get set to close this one. Caris LeVert knocks down both. And it's 94-80 as the shot clock's turned off. Pistons up by 14. It's 94-80. Cason Wallace down at 2. Rainbow 3. Wallace hit the rim, but it's in and out. Pistons have a good standing here at the end of this third. They got to close it, though. 94-80. They're up by 14.
Looking for a reason to try the $5 McChicken meal deal with McValue? Use 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5. That's everything you get with the $5 McChicken meal deal with McValue. Into this. Pre-order now. Samsung.com. Every truck month, trucks top ton. Only one delivers the trucks worth talking about. Ram Truck Month. The most powerful light-duty gas lineup in America, backed by America's best powertrain limited warranty, built to never stop. Hurry in for great deals during Ram Truck Month, the only one worth the talk. Nothing stops Ram.
Purchase this Ram 1500 and get 0% financing for 60 months or 6,500 total cash allowance on select 2026 Ram 1500 models in dealer inventory, and get a 10-year 100,000 mile powertrain limited warranty.
That same bold Louisiana flavor y'all love about our chicken? It's not. Yeah, we did that to crispy Alaskan flounder and butterfly shrimp too. Let's see for Popeyes.
I'm Malika Andrews. It's time now for tonight's intense play. It's brought to you by NyQuil Intense Flu. All right. 1, 2, not touching the floor, and yet somehow it ends up in a Victor Wembanyama alley-oop. Sure, that's how it goes. By the way, that is Victor's only made field goal in the 9 through 3 quarters. Spurs trying to go for 10 straight wins here today on Netflix.
Introducing new frosted sodas and floats. Only at Chick-fil-A. Hop, spin, and slide like an original. The original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats. Only at Chick-fil-A.
You're really buying a car online on AutoTrader?
Really, and I'm getting it from a local dealer. Can you really be that picky with your search? Really?
You can really buy a car from the dealer.
Really? We're really getting it from the dealership now? Really? Buy your car online on AutoTrader? Really?
Really?
It's the NBA on Prime.
Thursday, the Rockets and Flyers match. Then the Wolves split off with the Clippers. Rockets match. Wolves Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime.
Welcome back to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm. I'm here with Jaylin, who already has a double-double through 3 quarters. I want for you to describe the connection he's had in the two-man game with Cade as well as the Stars.
I mean, they both guys who have high IQ, can make any pass on the board, so I try to put myself in position and they can handle it.
Going back to the second quarter and really good third, there was a switch defensively. What was executed better?
Duncan Robinson misses the threes. We check in for the fourth, and now here's another one for the OKC Thunder, as this will be knocked away from McCain. Picked up now for Caris LeVert. LeVert has it on the right wing. Good defense there for Topic. Knocked it away from Dennis Jenkins. But this one will pick this one away from the backcourt. Shot clock down to 5. Dennis Jenkins with some work to do. Put his way for the one hand that got blocked. Again, Dennis Jenkins has not had a strong game whatsoever for the Pistons here. I think he's leading in the minus as far as plus minus. But the Pistons are 94-80 in the lead right now. Let's take a look, as I know we're underneath the action here, but just what we see as far as plus minus. Dennis Jenkins now -7. All of the starters for Detroit. Austin Thompson leads plus 23 of everybody. Cade Cunningham, 16 points, 11 assists, 6 turnovers, a little too high, but he's got 2 steals, 2 blocks. So Jalen Williams gets a 2, making 94-83. Caris LeVert. Kevin Huerter does not shoot. Dennis Jenkins, south of the key 3, misses it off the front of the rim. Jenkins saves it. Shot clock reset, 14. It's down to 8 now. Jenkins, one hand off the glass and in. Dennis Jenkins, they've got his first basket, 96-83. Duran leads all scorers with 22 for the Pistons. Cunningham's got 16. And another one for McCain. Makes it a 10-point game. 10:05 left to go in the fourth. 15 points on 3 of 8 shooting from deep. Spin for Jenkins at the logo. He'll go. His pass is LeVert attacking inside, and this one deflected. This will stay with the Pistons. Oklahoma City and Mark Daigneault might challenge this call.
OKC. Oh, yeah. It lasts 6-3, no doubt. Thunder challenging this.
NBA on ESPN is presented by
So Thunder are going to win a challenge once we come back in the fourth.
State Farm is there. Branden, our Burger King. You move. It plugs into your wall and feeds off your electrons.
That's McCain and Jalen Williams.
And it owes you something. In return. The greatest measure of obligation. Talent.
One, remember, I don't want to surgery for my infiltrates contraction.
2, I want to be able to lay my hand flat.
3, I want a non-surgical recovery.
4, I want options. Non-surgical options.
And 5,
And if non-surgical treatment isn't offered,
I'll give a second opinion.
Stars are killing the Kraken here. And Wyatt Johnson, Duchesne, Sam Steele, Johnson on the power play. There's no surprise there. Casey Smith just 8 of 8. Joy DeCord 18 of 22. But 8 shots. Not nowhere near enough. Peyton Krebs from Thompson at 10:36, the latest. Jake Allen 26 of 28. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen all 25. Cap Snob 2-1 on the Flyers. The go-ahead. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, his second from the Clan Chisholm and Alexei Protas. Lightning still up 2-0, still scoreless. 10 minutes expired from the Abs and Mammoth. Jets and Canucks, a late game. Golden Knights Kings on TNT. I think that's going to be the debut or return premiere of the Kings. And then Oilers Ducks on ESPN. Spurs down 4 to the Raptors, 9:56 left in the fourth. Warriors all over the Grizzlies, 120-88. Rockets all over the Kings, 81-63. And Bucks up 2 on the shorthanded Cavs, 86-84. Here is Kenrich Williams. Now for Aaron Wiggins for 3. Trying to have 3 threes to start the fourth quarter with the Thunder, but they missed there. Karis LeVert gets doubled by Topich on the switch. Jalen Duren at the top of the key against Isaiah Williams. Leaves for LeVert. LeVert floater, and it rolls back and down and in. 98-86. 9:10 left to go in the fourth. Here's a drive. McCain will get cut off. Duren. Jalen Williams. Now Kenrich Williams will join him in the phrase. He gets a switch on Duren. Does not go at him. 3-point attempt. This one will be Barnheiser that missed the shot. Will be skied by Detroit. Dennis Jenkins probes. One more pass. LeVert throws down the line with another floater. This one too strong. Jalen Duren taps it, but he can't save it. This will go to Mark Daigneault's squad. Here's a step back there. McCain. This one misses off the front of the rim. Dennis Jenkins gets the help to save it. We have 30 left to go in the fourth. 3-point field goals. Pistons are 7 of 20. OKC 15 of 43. They have let it fly. LeVert. Screen from Duren. Got the switch on Wiggins. LeVert now. Dennis Jenkins. He'll step through. That was not a good play. and Javonte Green got it off. Dennis Jenkins off that step there in the pump fake had space to shoot mid-range, and he made Javonte Green shoot contested. Don't like that possession. But he gets a tap there for Dennis Jenkins as JB Bickerstaff looks on. Again, it's only a 12-point game. Pistons have shot 56%. OKC just 40, but they knocked down so many more threes. Speaking of that, Jalen Williams for 3. Top of the key uncontested. It's a 9-point game. That's inexcusable. 22 points, 8 of 12, 5 of 9 from 3. LeVert inside Duran. He got blocked by the front of the rim, but he got his own rebound back, put it in, and he got an and one. So he was able to step pad a little bit with Jalen Duran. He got blocked, got the rebound, and got an and one opportunity as the Pistons have hit the century mark first. It's 189. He just missed it initially off that jump. He tried to reach it. Like, what are we doing? But he picks it back up, no problem, finishes it off. 7:48 in the fourth. Jalen Duran, 24 points, 10 of 15 shooting, and 14 rebounds. Can't tell me he doesn't matter the most. Talk about how good Cade is, but Duran's been able to really showcase what he can do, and he really is just one-dimensional. It's everything inside, but he's so damn good at it that he's probably going to get close to somewhat of the max, I would think, if they want to hold on to him. They're going to need to. Jalen Duran hits another free throw as Jenkins gets set to sit down. 101-89. Pistons back up by 12. Here is a floater that goes in for Jalen Williams. Are you kidding me? As he hit that one off the glass and drew the harm. It's now going to be 101-92. Should he make this? OKC, with everybody that's been out, there was 6 players that started, and then now you have 2 more for Carlson and Isaiah Joe, missing 8 players, and for them to only be down 9 after this free throw make, as I sit in Genji, tells me everything I need to know. They're winning the title. I don't see any other team that's going to be able to do this. Look how competitive the game is. You're missing 8 players. 25 points, Jalen Williams' career high. Cade Cunningham. He gets it split there for Duran, and Duran wanted to jump, but Cunningham just floated it in anyway. 103-92. Here is Jaylin on the right elbow. Cross pass inside, and Barnizer missed the shot. 103-92. Cade slowly right to left. Cade walk in 3. Cade hits it. 106-92 as he knocked the 3. Very efficient game for Cade Cunningham. 21 points, 3 of 4 from distance with 11 assists. Here's Wiggins. Lost the ball. This will stay with Mark Daigneault's squad. Cade Cunningham got a couple steals, couple blocks to his credit as well. Good all-around game. The floater, as Duran jumped, just for the courtesy. And then the three-pointer right in Jalen Williams' outstretched hand. No problem, nothing but nylon. Right elbow. It's Williams on the back down. He's already on a career high. His team's down 14. McCain for 3. Boy, has he been hot. Again, Pistons only up by 11. The spread opened at 10.5. So I guess they're at the number. And illegal screen call against Detroit. They'll turn it over before they ever cross half court. Give OKC the ball. Be a left side trigger. Out of bounds. And now OKC has the basketball one more time. McCain again, feeling himself, and tied up will stay with the Thunder. Foul is going to get picked up against Detroit. With 6:26 left to go in the fourth. Don't have a lot of notes being typed down in this fourth, kind of just waiting for it to end. I don't think it's going to be a long story one more time. As Barnizer gets set to check out. McCain gets a screen. He's got Thompson switched on him. Jalen Williams says, you know what, I'll take another one. Tobias Harris got it knocked away. And an and one opportunity for Aaron Wiggins. Don't go anywhere yet. 106-98 OKC really giving this their best effort. Again, they're down 8 players, and if they make this, they're only down 8 points. The Pistons with Tobias Harris on the initial effort couldn't get the rebound. Wiggins going to go to the line. Aaron Wiggins at that. Try to get point number 11. He's 4 of 13. He's got 3 rebounds and 5 assists. Wiggins hits it. Pistons leads only 8, and there's a lot of time left. 32 minutes for Cade, 21 points, 11 assists. He's got 4 fouls. He had 5 yesterday. Oscar Thompson. Not a Cade. Cade to the lane. He'll go right at McCain and draw the foul. Cade Cunningham's a very strong free throw shooter. He got the call against McCain. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2. He has made it the first. The Oklahoma State product was the unquestioned number 1 pick. Again, they could have taken Jalen Green. Glad they took Cade Cunningham. He's proven himself to be a leader. A leader for Team USA, a leader for the Pistons. Pistons now up by 10 with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth. We'll be on a solo call from LCA in downtown Detroit. And Duncan Robinson as Wiggins takes the hit right on the gut. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 now. So this game is going to bleed to a snail's pace with all of these fouls, but that is the way it is. 74% Aaron Wiggins on the season. He's 2 for 3 today. He's got 11 points. Hasn't shot all that well. He's 4 for 13, but he will knock down the first and try to get one more. Cason Wallace will get set to check back in. There's not a lot of depth here as there are 8 players out. Again, if you're just joining us, Braden Carlson and Isaiah Joe started this game, but they also left with an injury or maybe management as well. So Daigneault doing what he can, but he's really got to be proud of his team, all things considered, I would imagine, as it's 108-100 with 5:50 left to go in the fourth. 30-second chance points. There's 14. OKC's got that edge. Thompson does not shoot the 3. Then Cade got it stolen off his foot by Cason Wallace. And this is blocked by Cade again. That's his 3rd. It's saved by the Pistons. Thompson down the lane to Robinson, left wing 3. No. And this is saved by Wallace. Not a Luguentz. Luguentz down the lane. He backs out instead. 3 for Aaron Wiggins. And he hit it. It's 108-103. And Jamie Bickerstaff's got to take a timeout. The Thunder can win this game down 8 players. 5:22 left to go in the fourth. That is exceptional work for the Thunder. Wiggins hits it again, and we'll see what happens next.
I'm sorry, man. Only Verizon. AT&T and T-Mobile offer a better deal. And that's a stationary. I know. Have a great day. You're not as cool as Verizon. The sausage egg biscuit is perfect. No, it comes with alternatives. I stand corrected.
Rocket Mortgage makes it easy to tap your home's equity when the time is right.
So we ended up with a game, ladies and gentlemen. So I guess it was good to cover these. I'm a little bit disappointed with the Pistons. I mean, I understand what their record is at 42-14, OKC 45-14, but how the hell is this game this close, considering what the Thunder have been missing, as we talked about? But their bench has been good. McCain's got 18. Yes, he's 4 of 10 from 3, but he's knocking them down. Kenrich Williams has 13 off the bench. Carlson only played 4 minutes for the injury, 2 of 4. But that is 35 bench points for the Thunder, 18, 13, and 4. Cason Wallace, 21. Aaron Wiggins, 16. Luguentz Dort has been the only guy that really hasn't done much, 1 of 7. Jalen Williams, 25 on 5 of 10 from 3 and 9 of 14. If it's not for Cade Cunningham's efficiency in this game or Jalen Duren's effectiveness, Pistons probably should be losing this game. Let's give you a reset again on the NHL. Sabres win 2-1. Devils get 1 back. Not enough. Capitals win 3-1 on the Flyers. Stars up 4-0 on the Kraken, up 2. Lightning up 3-0 on the Leafs. Avalanche Mammoth about to end the first scoreless. Spurs now have a 3-point advantage on the Raptors, outscoring them 28-10. Make that 6. Here's Victor Wembanyama gets a rebound on a 3.
Jalen Williams and Cason Wallace have been great all night from the beginning of the game, but they've gotten a nice punch here.
The depth of OKC is making this a game. We've talked about that they had like 8 different players scoring double digits. Everything tested with their depth. They're only down 5. Cade, 3, miss. This is tipped saved by Thompson, and it will go the other way, question mark, as Reed gets busted for a foul at 5:06. So OKC only down 108-103, missing 8 players. Again, 3 of them were load management. 3 of them were already injured, and 2 of them got injured in this game or were load management. So Jalen Williams looked at his career high. 5:06, the clock doesn't move. The Thunder could win this game outright. It would be absolutely pathetic if you're Detroit. Jalen Williams makes the first. 108-104. I hate to sound so cold in favor of a team that I love to rep as the hometown team, but you cannot lose this game. Here's another one. Jalen Williams makes both. 108-105. It's a 13-2 Thunder run. 5 minutes left. Cade Cunningham gets around Luguentz. Cade to the rack, can't finish. And Reed gets blocked. Duncan Robinson for 3. He hits it off the side of the rim. And this one is Reed saving it. 5 opportunities for Detroit. Looks like they'll get 6. Did Paul Reed save it off Williams? He hit it off his knee. He sure did. That's going to be 6 opportunities for Detroit to try to get a basket. Only 5 seconds on the shot clock before 44. What can they do? Here's Javonte. Got to shoot it. Javonte Green. Yes! Hit the 3 in the left corner. 111-105. He had that many offensive rebounds. Made it happen. 6 points on 2 of 4 from 3. Aaron Wiggins. He's been hot in the 4th. Now for Jalen Williams to Kenrich Williams. Aaron Wiggins, right wing. Got Duncan Robinson in his face. Shakes him, and he hits a smooth mid-range from 18. 111-107. This has been a heck of a game. I didn't expect it to be this close. 18 points and 6 of 15, 5 assists. Buster Thompson. Right elbow. Duncan Robinson, Luguentz Dort in his face. Paul Reed on the floor. Reed got the space, shoots, missed. Jalen Williams will get it. OKC can get within 2 or 1. Jalen Williams inside, Luguentz. Kenrich almost gets it knocked out of his hands. Luguentz, 3. No. If he hadn't been so cold, OKC would be winning right now. I think he's 1 of 8. Cade Cunningham. Cade now. It's the switch on Kenrich Williams. Cade, step back, create the space. Cade hits. 113-107 with 3:18 left in the fourth. Timeout, Mark Daigneault.
The Chewy Pharmacy orders a play for retail, and then it's verified by Chewy's licensed pharmacist prepared by state Chewy.
So 113-107 Pistons with 3:17 left.
Since 2018, Cricket Wireless has been supporting the journey and vision of HBCU students. And with Apple Intelligence on iPhone 16e, nothing gets in the way of your passion. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Here's to the stuff that never stopped, to the flavor that found its way into everything, from just one spot to America's #1 spot for winners. This isn't just a meal, it's an arrival. Wingstop is here.
And coming up next on ESPN, second game for a doubleheader, the 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets take on the Celtics, wrapping up Boston's 4-game road trip. That should be a really good one between Denver and Boston. Big bucket from Cade Cunningham after.
Cade Cunningham just made a mid-range off the step back. 25 points, 10 to 15, 11 assists, 3 blocks. Cason Wallace cut off by Cade inside the free throw line, restricted, and then stripped. Javonte Green laid the rush, and I think he's going to draw the foul as well. 2:59 left to go in the fourth. Pistons trying to salt this away. OKC's made more than just a run. I mean, this is a statement, being 8 players down and yet playing this close to the Pistons, considering how well they are. Yes, they're flawed as far as not being able to make threes, but I mean, come on now. They've just been able to take whatever else and give supreme effort. This is off a back-to-back, being down 8 players now. They started down 6. But their depth has made this almost an outright win. Cade. He gets the setup from Duran. He'll walk right in and lay it in over Jalen Williams. 115-107. 2:45 left to go in the fourth. Touch pass. Aaron Wiggins for 3 on the right wing. No. Cade Cunningham, what a rebound over Cason Wallace. We'll get a screen there for Duran. Hopefully the Pistons slow it down here. Down to 10, as this is at the Pistons logo as I finish the sentence. Cade trying to get around Luguentz. And Dort, did he make him step out of bounds, Luguentz to Cade? And he said, off-arm shove, JB. I don't think they're going to win that argument. 2:21 left to go in the fourth. OKC down 8. Pistons now starting to ramp up the turnovers. 16. That's too many. As this will be picked up here for Aaron Wiggins. Spin. Couldn't get around Javonte Green. Jalen Williams got fouled, I think, from the three-point line in the left corner by Duran. He's got a chance to make it a 5-point deficit with 2:10 left to go in the fourth. Oh, come on now. He barely even touched the hands. That doesn't look like a foul or a high five. 27 points, 11 rebounds. He's got 28 and 2 more coming. I don't think that's a foul. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be neutral. Jalen Williams don't care, though. He's going to try to knock down all three. He makes this, he gets 30. Unbelievable effort for Jalen Williams. And another one of those guys, if not for the depth, would show you can absolutely be a starter. There's been a lot of those. Going for point number 30 and free throws 7 of 7. Yep. Hits them all. 30 points for Jalen Williams. His team only down 5. Dennis Jenkins. Javonte Green, 2 minutes left. Cade. Robinson, he needs it. He got doubled. Robinson hit. He's going to draw the foul, and hopefully his knee's okay. He's writhing in pain on the left side of his ankle. Oh, my God. If he's hurt here, that really sends a dent for the Pistons because they got no three-point shooting whatsoever. Duncan Robinson's slow to get up. Is he going to put any weight on that left foot? Williams on the late closeout. And Wiggins fell on Robinson. So there shouldn't be any sort of, he jumped on his foot. Shouldn't be any sort of surprise that there'll be a foul call. Duncan Robinson stunned a little bit on the toe. And we're going to go through an official review. We'll probably get free throws nonetheless.
Trying to protect shooter's landing area, particularly when you launch forward like that. Yeah, and he's out of control, falling down. That's going to be a reckless close out. I'd be absolutely stunned if it's not. Then you're going to get the 3 free throws plus the basketball for Detroit.
If Detroit wins this challenge, they're going to get 3 free throws anyway, but plus the basketball. That would be huge at this point in the game because it's Duncan Robinson at the line where he should be making those. And then Detroit getting it back, maybe up by 8. With a minute 55 left, could change this game completely and put it out of reach for OKC. But make no mistake, for me, it's more than a valiant effort for them. They have showcased, as I've said tonight, every single reason why I think they're going to win the title again. When you miss 8 players, you started missing 6, and then having it for Carlson and also out for, let me look back up again in my notes. So Carlson and Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe just played 14 minutes. Carlson only played 4. That would mean a lot. So flagrant 1 called against OKC. So that means the Pistons get 3 free throws on that closeout and the basketball back. So Wiggins will be called for the flagrant 1. I know he didn't mean to do it. He was just jumping out of control. So nothing malicious. He just got called a flagrant foul. 1:55 left to go in the 4th. Duncan Robinson just 4 of 10 shooting, 3 of 8 from distance. And Duncan's going to get 2 more of these. He's made the first. Pistons 66 points in the paint. 30 points for OKC there. All their damage has ostensibly been from a little bit from the free throw line because they've been consistent, but from 3, they've been torching the Pistons. But everybody torches the Pistons there. But as you said, with the disadvantage that they've had is Duncan hits all 3. Pistons will get the ball back as well. They lead 118-100. It's just all the more impressive. I mean, I can't say it any other way than that. Or Daigneault will get everything squared away now for his rotations. Again, they still have all their local coverage for FanDuel on both sides as well as this ESPN. Cade has it at the top of the key. Duncan Robinson can make it a 6-point play if he hit it. No. And this is deflected away. This will stay with OKC with a $1:48 left to go in the game. You got plenty to be happy about if you're OKC, even in a loss, considering the valiant effort. But again, can't say that yet. Cason, Wallace, McCain, floater, takes the lane, and Pistons, I guess, content to give up a 2 as we're down to the final 90 seconds. Pistons only lead by 6, 118-112. Duran 27, Cade 25. Cade, screen from Duncan Robinson. Cunningham, Dennis Jenkins, touch. Jenkins all alone, gotta hit it. No, this is not rebounded by the Pistons. Cason Wallace blows by Cade and draws the foul. He's got a chance to make it a 4-point deficit now. They just won't go away, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Cason Wallace, that's a little bit too easy for Cade to just allow them to go ahead and take that baseline. But Cason Wallace has also impressed the hell out of me. Jalen Williams has impressed me. You've had the backcourt in the mix of Jared McCain, who's also been that same way. And the Thunder continue to do damage at the free throw line. Pistons have to score. Third straight game, 20 points. The longest streak of his career for Cason Wallace. Trying to get point number 23, he does. 118-114 with 112 left. Pistons only up by 4. Cade slowly across the timeline as we look to end this. Cunningham doubled. Cunningham pivots. Will get across the lane, and he hits it off the glass and in. Cade Cunningham with a big clutch bucket. 120-114. Thunder still in it. Try to get stiffed by Devontae Green. Cade takes it away, and then Cade throws it away. This is the Thunder now with the basketball. Wiggins now top of the key. Wiggins down the lane, partially blocked by Duran, but a foul call before it. They'll go to the line as they're in the bonus and shoot 2. This game will go right down to the wire, and OKC looks to be holding that 10.5-point deficit. And if it was me, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would have not taken them covering 10.5. As Wiggins makes the first, he's got to make this one. Try to make it 116-120. Wiggins can also get 20 if he can go 6 for 7. 39 seconds left. Wiggins hits both. 120-116. Now you got to be cleaning off the out of bounds pass. Get it to Cade. They throw the trap. It's Duncan Robinson. Got 3 seconds to get across the timeline. They will with the second to spare. Cade down the lane. Bounce pass to Jalen Duran. Gets the dunk. Beautifully done. As the Pistons go back up by 6, that'll force Mark Daigneault into a TO. So Cade and Duran beat the press. 28 seconds left. They lead 122-116. This ended up being quite a ball game, and thankful for the one vote that says yes. I appreciate that. So it does give me a little bit of hope. Avalanche man with scoreless after 1. Thunder are outscoring with 8 men down. The Pistons 36-28 in the 4th. It's crazy. Absolutely insane.
Trying to get the offensive foul. Cade Cunningham able to get away with that, then goes and gets it, and then, of course, operates that possession beautifully.
122-116. Thunder ball. They throw it away. 24 seconds left to go in the game. Pistons would be able to drain the whole clock. OKC is going to be forced to foul here if they want to give themselves a chance. I don't think they would let the Pistons dribble out a 6-point deficit, considering how hard they fought. But Pistons got to get it inbounded. Left sideline out of bounds extended. Duncan Robinson. This is Javonte Green, not a Cade. And I think Cade will be the one to go to the line. So Cason Wallace will pick it up. 21 seconds left. John Under with you from LCA as we're watching this one on ESPN. Cade just 81% at the free throw line, but still pretty good numbers. 2 of 2 today. He's going to go for points number 20 and 29 if he hits both. Pistons should be able to get this win today, but I'm surprised it was as close as it was. And again, as I've mentioned all night, tells me every reason why I think that the Thunder are going to win again. 18th game with 25 and 10, second most in the season of franchise history. Isaiah Thomas had 22 in 84-85. Cade is legit. He's getting the MVP chance in for the hometown crowd, and Detroit's got one more national TV game on Friday when they get to take on the Cavaliers. I imagine with the players that they're missing today, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell will all be ready to go on Friday. 124-116. Pistons up by 8. Topic. He blew it, and then started Kenrich Williams. Dennis Jenkins. He will dribble it out. The Thunder call off the Dogs, but hell of an effort for them. Pistons do win. I guess that isn't even the lead story, even though it should be the most important. 43-14. OKC going to drop to 45-15, but 19-7 against teams above 500, best record in the NBA. But the Thunder only lost by 8 with 8 players down. 124-116 Pistons win. They rebound off the Spurs loss. They had to win today. But man, oh man, what an effort there for them. We'll see you later this week. I got playoffs with Nick, so I probably won't have anything this weekend. But next week, Tuesday, at least we'll get Stars and Flames. Maybe talk to Cooper Hopkins. Pistons win. First team's above 500 for the Pistons, 18-5. Pistons win. I'll see you guys next week, okay? Probably Flames and Stars on Tuesday. Peace.